we are in New York. Prabhupada returned to New York some days or whatever, couple of weeks before, and he's sorted out the fraud situation, Mr. Price and Mr. Tyler, and there was one or two others. I sorted that out, which the young devotees were totally unable to do. But, and he noted that even though when he got back, initially there was a wave of enthusiasm that he's back, and it seemed like everyone had made progress since he was previously there. But then after a day or two, he got to understand that actually they were not doing so well. Yeah, they were not doing so well. And there was a need to really help them. So, but then also what happened was that Srila Prabhupada's health was unknown to the devotees. There was some weakness in his health. So there were signs that Prabhupada should be cautious about his health. He had gone through difficulty while appearing on the Alan Burke TV show. Alan Burke was known for sitting back, smoking a cigar, and saying outrageous, even insulting things to his guests. And if a guest became offended, Mr. Burke would provoke him all the more. It was a popular show. Before they went on the air, Mr. Burke had asked Prabhupada's permission to smoke a cigar. And Prabhupada had graciously consented. Mr. Burke had introduced his guest as a real Swami. When he had asked Prabhupada why he was against sex, Prabhupada had said he wasn't. Sex should be restricted to marriage for raising Krishna-conscious children. But Mr. Burke had persisted, wanting to know what was wrong with sex outside of marriage. The real purpose of human life, Srila Prabhupada had replied, was self-realization. When one's mind is preoccupied with capturing new sex partners, keeping the mental peace necessary for self-realization becomes impossible. Mr. Burke had agreed. In fact, his manners had been the best ever. And at the end, he had called Prabhupada a very charming gentleman. It was on his way home to the temple that Srila Prabhupada had said that the TV lights had caused him so much pain in his head that at one point he had thought he wouldn't be able to continue. Then, one day, Rupanuga, sitting close to Prabhupada's dais during a lecture, noticed Prabhupada's hand shaking as he spoke. Kirtanananda had been there when months ago The morning after they'd made the record, Prabhupada had slept late and complained of his heart skipping and of not being able to move. If I ever get badly sick, Srila Prabhupada had told Kirtanananda, don't call a doctor, don't take me to a hospital, just give me my beads and chant Hare Krishna. Swamiji's disciples were reluctant to restrain him. Kirtanananda had tried. At the Avalon, when Swamiji had been dancing and jumping and streaming with perspiration, Kirtanananda had insisted that the kirtan stop. But the others had called him paranoid. Besides, Swamiji didn't like to be restrained. And who were they to restrain him? He was Krishna's empowered representative, able to surmount any difficulty. He was a pure devotee. He could do anything. Hadn't he often described how a pure devotee is transcendental to material pangs? Swamiji had written a letter consoling a disciple's ailing grandmother. Quote, all our ailments are due to the external body. Although we have to suffer some time from bodily inconveniences, especially in the old age, still, if we're God-conscious, we shall not feel the pangs. The best thing is, therefore, to chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Unquote. The devotees figured that although Swamiji might give good instructions to someone's old grandmother, nothing like what had befallen her was ever going to affect him. Of course, he referred to himself as an old man, but that was mostly in lectures to show the inevitability of old age. To the devotees, Prabhupada's health appeared strong. His eyes shone brightly with spiritual emotions. His complexion was smooth and golden, and his smile was a display of health and well-being. One time, one of the boys said that Swamiji's smile was so virile that it made him think of a bull and iron nails. Haribol. That's his smile, like a bull and iron nails. Swamiji was taking cold showers, going on early morning walks around the Lower East Side, playing mridanga, eating well. Even if his disciples wanted to slow him down, what could they do? Some of his disciples had actually tried to prevent him from attending the controversial Cosmic Love-In at the East Village Theatre, but not because of his health. They had wanted to protect his U.S. residency case. Srila Prabhupada had been invited to attend the Love-In, a fundraising show for Louis Abulafia, the Love and Peace presidential candidate. Allen Ginsberg, Timothy Leary, and others were attending, along with a full lineup of rock bands. But when Prabhupada's lawyer heard that he was going, he said it might jeopardize the visa case. Some of the boys took up the lawyer's opinion and opposed Prabhupada's plan. Prabhupada agreed that it might be best if he didn't go. But on the day of the cosmic love-in, he changed his mind and decided to go anyway. I came to this country to preach Krishna consciousness, he declared. Now it was time to speak against these LSD leaders who claimed to be spiritualists. He had been saying that although he wanted to go, he wouldn't go if his disciples forbade him. But in the end, he simply said he was going, and that was that. During the last week of May, Srila Prabhupada began to feel exhausted. He spoke of heart palpitations. Hoping that the symptoms would clear up in a day or two, Kirtanananda requested Prabhupada to rest and see no visitors. But Prabhupada's condition became worse. Kirtanananda, Swamiji, began to complain that his left arm wasn't functioning properly. And then he began to develop a twitching in his left side, and his left arm would twitch uncontrollably. It seemed to pain him in some mysterious way, internally or psychologically. Achyutananda, it was Sunday, 2 days before Memorial Day, and we'd arranged a large program in the afternoon in a hall uptown. I went up to get Swamiji, since all the devotees were ready. Swamiji was lying down, and his face was pale. He said, "Feel my heart." And I felt a quivering vibration in his chest. I went down, but didn't want to alert everyone and panic them. I went to Kirtanananda and quietly said, "The Swami is having some kind of mild heart palpitations." And immediately we both flew back up. Swamiji said, "Just massage here." So I rubbed him on the chest, and he showed me how. He said, "The others go, and Achyutananda can stay here. If anything happens, he can call you." So the others went and did the program, and I waited. That's Achyutananda. Once or twice he called me in and had me quickly rub over his chest. Then he looked up, and his color had come back. I was staring with my mouth open, wondering what to do. He looked at me and said, "Why are you sitting idle? Chant Hare Krishna." During the evening, palpitations again occurred, so I slept in the room next to his. And late at night he called me in and again had me massage. Excuse me. Kirtanananda. It was on Tuesday afternoon, Memorial Day, and I was sitting with Swamiji in his room. While Kirtan was going on downstairs, the twitching began again. The Swamiji's face began to tighten up. His eyes started rolling. Then all of a sudden he threw himself back, and I caught him. He was gasping, "Hare Krishna." But then everything stopped. I thought it was the last, until his breathing started again, and with it the chanting. But he didn't regain control over his body. Brahmananda, I was there along with Caitanya. It was on Memorial Day weekend. We couldn't understand what was wrong with Swamiji. He couldn't sit up. He was moaning, and nobody knew what was happening. We nursed him, myself and Caitanya, trying all different things. I had to go out and buy a bedpan for him. Unquote. Prabhupada's left side was paralyzed. He asked that a picture of his spiritual master be put on the wall in front of him. Thinking that Prabhupada was preparing to leave his body and wanted to meditate at the last moment on his spiritual master, Achyutananda taped it to the door facing Prabhupada. Devotees entered the front room of the apartment, and Prabhupada told them to chant Hare Krishna. Then he told them to pray to Krishna in his form of Nrsingadev. Satsvarup. Swamiji said we should pray to Lord Nrsinga, and the prayer should be, my master has not finished his work. You know, in 77, just before Prabhupada left this world, means for a couple of months, something like that, around the whole movement, there was a prayer which was put, like large scale, generally over Prabhupada's Vyasasan. And I remember I was staying in Bhaktivedanta Manor at the time. And, the prayer, we had big size right across. And the prayer was, that at that time the prayer was, our dear Lord Krishna, if you so desire, please cure Srila Prabhupada. And after Mangal Arati and different times after Guru Puja, times like that, everybody, we'd all sit down and chant that prayer. Such dramatic times. Jadharani. He taught us the prayers to Lord Nrsingadev. He said the words one by one, and I wrote them down. I called up the temples in San Francisco and Montreal and told them the prayer. Swamiji said, you should pray to Krishna that my spiritual master has not yet completed his work, so please let him finish. Damodar, I went into the temple. No one was downstairs, so I just sat down to chant some rounds. Then a devotee came down looking very disturbed, so I asked what was going on. When he told me, I rushed upstairs. Everyone was sitting around in the second room, where they could see into Swamiji's room through the window in the wall. They were all chanting on their beads. Jadharani was handing out little slips of paper with writing on them. Swamiji, she explained, wanted us to chant these prayers. Brahmananda, we brought the painting of Lord Nrsinga into Swamiji's room and we were all chanting. When Swamiji had to use the bedpan in front of Lord Nrsinga's painting, He begged forgiveness of Lord Nrsimha. He could understand that Lord Nrsimha was sitting right in front of him. I saw it as a painting, but Swamiji saw it as Lord Nrsimha himself sitting there. It was getting worse, total weakness and everything. I couldn't get a doctor because it was Memorial Day, which is big holiday in America, big holiday, and everything was closed. I even called my family doctor, but he wasn't in. Everyone had gone on vacation because on Memorial Day, everyone leaves the city. I couldn't get anyone. I was calling hospitals, doctors, trying this and that, but I couldn't get anyone. Finally, I got a doctor by calling an emergency number for the New York City Medical Department. The doctor came. He was an old geezer, like kind of somewhat eccentric old man, with a real loud voice. When he saw Swamiji, he said, "I think the old man is praying too much. I think he should get some exercise. He should go out for a walk in the morning." Achyutananda. The doctor didn't know very much. He said that Swamiji had a cold. I said, "What do you mean? His heart is palpitating." The doctor said, I don't know what to do. Does he take any whiskey? I said, "He doesn't even drink coffee or tea." Doctor said, "Oh, very good, very good. Well, I think he's just got a cold." Dwarkadish Das, he came and took a look at the place, and you could tell right away he didn't like what he saw. He thought we were just a bunch of hippies. He couldn't wait to get out of the place, but he said, "Oh, he's got influenza." That was a ridiculous diagnosis. And then he said, "Give me my money." We paid him. The doctor left, and Swamiji got worse. The devotees called a second doctor who came and diagnosed Srila Prabhupada as having had a mild heart attack. He said that Prabhupada should at once go to the hospital. Max Lerner, a lawyer friend of the devotees. I got a call one day that the Swami had had a mild heart attack and I could be of some help. At that time, they were going to take him to Bellevue Hospital, but I suggested that at least I could try to get him into a private hospital. After several hours of talking and negotiating with people at the hospital, we were able to get Swamiji into Beth Israel Hospital. Beth Israel. I think it's a fairly famous hospital. Well, I don't know actually, but it's very Jewish. The day Brahmananda, the day after Memorial Day, we had to arrange for an ambulance. Beth Israel had no ambulance, so I called a private ambulance company. It was all arranged with the hospital that Swamiji would arrive at 9 o'clock that morning. But the ambulance didn't come until about noon. During this time, Swamiji kept moaning. Then finally, the ambulance came, and they were horrible guys. They treated Swamiji like a bundle of cloth. I thought it would have been better if we had taken Swamiji in a cab, in a taxi, unquote. Except for Kirtanananda, who stayed in Prabhupada's hospital room as a nurse, no one else was allowed to stay. They all went back to the temple to chant through the night, as Prabhupada had requested. Yeah, I remember, I was there from January the 7th, 1973, until Prabhupada left this world, November the 14th, 77. And on several occasions during those, 4, almost say 5 years, Srila Prabhupada became very ill and everything stopped. And we just had 24-hour kirtan. Usually just one night, sometimes one night, the whole next day, or the whole next night, like that. It would happen, like I say, about several, a couple of times a year, or something like that. Kirtanananda phoned Hayagriva in San Francisco and told him what had happened, how Swamiji had suddenly fallen back and cried out, "Hare Krishna," and how there had been nothing for about 30 seconds, and then a big gasp, "Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna." Kirtanananda told Hayagriva that the devotees in San Francisco should chant all night and pray to Lord Nrsingadev. Tavakara kamalavare nakam adbhuta shringam, dalita hiranya kashipu tanubringam, keshavadrita narahari rupa, jai jagadisha hare. It's interesting. The movement's been going on, like fairly seriously now for maybe a year or something. Yeah, something like that, because this is now, Memorial Weekend is, I think it's June. It's either May or June. Yeah, so Prabhupada's really been active for a year or a bit more than a year. And the thing is, they didn't know the Nrsingadev prayers. They just found out just right now. Lord Nrsingadev, the half-man, half-lion incarnation of Lord Krishna, had appeared in another age to save his pure devotee Prahlad and kill the demon Hiranyakashipu. Prabhupada had asked his disciples to pray to Lord Nrsingadev by chanting the special mantra and thinking, "Our master has not finished his work. Please protect him." The boys went back to the temple and chanted together. But after a few hours, they fell asleep. They wanted to rest so that they could go to the hospital the next day. Haridas. When we heard about it in San Francisco, there was grief and people were crying. There was a tremendous love and thinking about Swamiji and just concentration, a mass concentration of pulling him through, giving him strength and summoning the help of Krishna and Lord Caitanya and everybody we could possibly call upon to lend their energies. People came into the temple doing rosaries, and whatever faiths or beliefs or trips they were on, They were directing that toward a healing. They were all chanting with us. Hayagriva. It's a night I'll never forget. We turn on the altar lights behind the Jagannaths, light candles and chant in the flickering shadows. It is solemn chanting and even more solemn dancing. News quickly spreads down Haight Street, and soon the temple is crowded with others come to chant with us through the night. Mukunda and Janaki phone New York, but there's no additional information. Kirtanananda is spending the night in the hospital beside Swamiji's bed. No one else is being allowed in. Hospital regulations. Yes, everyone in New York is chanting. We chant past midnight. Most of the guests leave, but none of us yet feel sleepy. The chanting overtakes us in waves. My mind wanders to Swamiji, to New York, to the future, to the past. I have to yank it back into the room to confront the present, to realize why we're here chanting, to petition Sri Krishna to spare our master a little longer, to allow him to spread Lord Chaitanya's glorious Sankirtan movement around the world. The chanting is always here, insistent. So this is Hayagriva continuing. He's in San Francisco. By 2 a.m. I begin to tire. I change instruments just to keep awake, sometimes playing mridanga, sometimes cymbals or harmonium. Many dance to stay awake. The girls serve prasadam, sliced apples. It is dangerous to sit next to the wall, an invitation to doze off. We are so frail. Hare Krishna soothes. The chanting releases us from so much needless fretting. Through it we can relieve tensions, grieve, plead, and hope. It is between 3 and 4 a.m., the most ecstatic hour, the Brahma Muhurta hour before the dawn. If he's alive at this hour, surely he will live. We sing, we chant on beads, constant Hare Krishna. We chant through the usual 7 a.m. kirtan hour and into the morning. We chant 14 hours without cessation. We cleanse the dust from the mind's mirror. We see Krishna and Swamiji everywhere. Surely now he is well. Hare Krishna. We will continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions? Comments? Questions? Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone.